Child. We live, y'all. We live, y'all.
Okay.
Hey,
Hey.
Well, hello. How you doing?
welcome to Lucid
Hey.
Conversations, y'all.
Right.
Come on, girl. Yeah.
As my family gets situated. Nah, Steve isn't feeling well.
Oh.
Yeah. Y'all sipping tequila?
No.
Sipping to water. Well, Moscato. Water.
Martell.
Water.
I'm drinking dark today.
We late getting started, y'all. I know.
I'm going
Had a
to
couple of technical difficulties, but we here. I cannot get my microphones to work, so we're going to talk real loud. Okay?
I don't think so.
Hey, Lucid family.
What else?
Hey.
Oh, we on this camera. Hey.
What camera? Oh, up there.
I don't even know if they
And
can-
that's
Oh,
Ro.
Ro, you gotta come over.
Come
Yeah.
on, Ro. Waving the camera,
Unless
Ro.
you wanna sit over here.
And that's
You good?
Tasha.
Hey.
Well, I
And
guess
that's
I'll float
me.
so I won't be cut off. Hey.
And that's Tori. We just talking, y'all.
And Ro, we at the bottom.
You know, I wanted to start this session off with trying to break the generational curse of things, but why can't I get these two words to go together? Couple of my young people couldn't make it, so I got one of my, hey Ro, one of my young girls here. So I just kind of want to talk about how we can break this ongoing generational curse of trauma.
Self-awareness.
Yeah.
I need y'all to speak louder since the mics aren't working, so speak real loud. So
I'm going to say self-awareness because in order to be able to combat or even understand that there is a generational curse or that there is an issue, you have to be self-aware and honest, with yourself to even admit that. And that's where I think the major bulk of it begins. I think it should start somewhere within that. Can you hear
So-
me?
yeah. So Rochelle, how old are you?
25.
If you could change something in your childhood, what would it be?
Probably for my parents to have raised me. Sometimes I'll be wondering, like, how would my life be if my
Talk a little louder.
Sometimes I wonder if how would my life would be if my real actual parents had raised me and not someone else.
And so the reason why your biological parents did not raise you was why?
I actually don't know the reason to that question, but I know that my father that I had seen 2 years ago, he actually stays with my auntie, which is his sister. She's actually taking care of him, so that's one of the reasons. My mom would have been a single mom at that, so due to him being autistic.
He autistic?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the other thing. So my biological mom would have been a single parent doing everything as well. So
Wow.
yeah.
That's real. That's
So how did you find out he was your father? How did you?
Well, it's a long story because
Okay.
I feel like my biological mom already knew where they was at
Okay.
because we drove around when me and my twin used to stay with her. We used to drive out west all the time, and not realizing we used to pass their house all the time because I remember the area. So when I went on my own, to be honest. So my biological mom called me up on my phone or whatever and told me to meet her, and I met her at a house, and I realized now she was introducing me to my dad and my auntie.
Oh, wow. How old
Yeah.
were you then?
I was like, what, 29, 28
Wow.
at the time?
So up until that point, you didn't even know.
Yeah.
talk louder, y'all.
I said,
Yes.
so she just said that she didn't learn who her biological father was until she was 29.
Yeah.
And that was like by just by driving around in the neighborhood, and then that's when they told her, and cause she was just telling the story, and I wanted to know how old she was, and I'm like, man, that's really deep. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So,
And
yeah.
and so I'm sorry if I missed it, but did you have a man in your life when you were coming up?
Yeah, I had my adopted dad. My adopted dad, and like a lot of his learnings, I like still with me, like the do's and the don'ts. You know, like even when it come down to like certain relationships, even though he might not have been talking to me, he probably been talking to somebody else, but because I was around and I heard what he was saying, I kind of like took it as a lesson in my adult life now.
Was he in your life at early childhood,
Who?
or your adopted father?
Yes,
Okay.
he was there my whole
So
my
from
whole entire life.
okay.
Like, until he passed away.
Okay.
So when you wonder about what your life could have been like with your biological parents, is that making you wonder, could it have been better than what you got going on now? Or what is it making you
Well, I have
wonder, like, you know, what my life would be like
right.
if they would have raised me?
Right.
Because sometimes when we tend to go
Yeah.
that route, we
Yeah.
think it'll be better.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
She did say
I
that
did.
when Darlene asked what would be the one thing, you know, that you would change, that was the one thing
Uh-huh.
she said. So that's a
To
really
think-
good
Yeah,
point.
that's it.
Yeah.
That
So
very.
did you think that?
Right.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I did.
Natasha.
No,
Okay. Okay.
But now that I'm older and I'm starting to see how not so much about my biological father, but my biological mom, the way how she is, I'm like, okay, I'm glad I didn't want to
That part.
you.
Wow.
That part.
Like, cause I'm
That
seeing her
part.
true colors, you know.
Yeah. And it's
she-
giving you an understanding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That leads
Everything
me
makes sense.
to ask another question. So
Ask it louder so make sure we can all hear. I'm
that
sorry,
leads
y'all.
me to ask another question, that if that understanding that that's like an innate desire of anybody longing for their biological parents. So I guess my question would be, was the adoptive family and the adoptive situation not as ideal as you wanted it to be, which is what made you long for the other side? Because if the adoptive family and things were going good, understanding innately you would think of that, but was that the reason why you kind of longed for that?
Well, nah, it had nothing to do with me being adopted, because before we got adopted, we was having visits.
Right.
So
Okay.
and I'm now we older, you know what I'm saying? We like in our teens, so we thinking like, oh, we finna go right back with our mom, because we all was seeing our biological parents. So we like, okay, yes, we seen our biological parents, like, because we always want to like, because it happened, everything happened at the last minute, like we never know when we go see them, and then things started to change, because when they did the visit appointment for us to go see her, she started showing up, to where they made us stop going to DCFS to see her or whatever, because she wasn't doing what she was. But we didn't know that at the time though.
So
Like, through her, like she was the reason why we wasn't. And then I guess because we was getting older at a certain time, it was up to my adopted parents to make a decision, because we was going to go be put somewhere else. So that's when my adopted dad, like we all knew, like our adopted dad, he was the one that was like, we just gonna go ahead and adopt y'all. Like,
Oh, okay.
so that's what happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with your experience from your childhood and your semi-experience as an adult, because you're still learning
Right.
and growing as we all are, if you was to have a baby right now, do you think that you would be able to give that baby love without the trauma that you went through?
Of course. I mean, I see through my peers on how one of my peers just recently lost her baby daddy, and she regret the fact that she has a second child, because she was trying to change him, and now that he's gone, she's finally waking up about like what she could have did, but it's too late, because the baby is already here, you know. But I know that with me, if I have a child, I really want to be financially stable in order for me to like raise a child, because I like to go outside. There's a lot of things you can do with your kids nowadays. Like I'm out, and then plus my sister, she has to fight me. So there we go. My little niece always want me to take her outside, but I work, so I don't have time to do that.
So do you think you say you want to be financially stable, which is good. That's everybody's dream. Do you think you're mentally stable to have a child and to raise a child?
Because that's really, really important.
Right.
Yeah.
More so than
Right.
In
the
the
Right.
finance
How is your
Yeah.
mental? Are you at peace?
with your past.
within yourself.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I'm actually like, cause I always, even though my little niece be doing things, and then plus I have my I have a degree in early child education.
Okay.
So, plus I'll be graduating next year.
Right.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you.
Right. Congrats.
So,
Congrats to you.
yes.
Good stuff.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I have a lot, and I like kids because it brings me back to how I was as a kid. And like, even though I feel like I used to get consequences for everything that I did, like little stuff. And I don't know because I was the oldest, or if I was the oldest girl. I'm not the oldest child to my adopted parents, but I'm a girl, so that's one thing. So it might have been a different experience for my adopted mom because she didn't have girls, she had boys. So that's the other thing. So I used to get picked on for everything. I'm like, man, why I'm getting picked on? Every little thing. Like even when they thought I was doing something wrong, I feel like I didn't do nothing wrong. Like, but got in trouble for it anyway. But my adopted dad wasn't as strict as my adopted mom. Like my adopted dad was kind of a little bit more lenient. You would think he was the strict one, but he really wasn't.
What does strict look like? Give me some examples of the strict that you experienced.
Man.
Talk louder so I
Like
can hear
getting
you.
hit with an extension cord.
Getting hit with an extension cord?
Yes, with the littlest. And I feel like, I'm like, some things that I used to get whooping for, it was like, I feel like that was a weapon. Like, you're going to leave abuse on me. Like,
Because
can
as
we
an
have to
adult,
sit down and talk about why I did wrong? Because in my mind, I might not physically did wrong, but to the adult, she might have felt like that was wrong, but we never had that talk.
and you know that's funny because as an adult, if someone was to hit us with an extension cord, what's gonna happen?
It's a fight.
It's a fight.
And it's a bad one.
It's a
I got a
the
question.
police are called,
bad
you
one.
know,
Yeah.
but yet we can take an extension cord to a child. Okay, come on, Nee.
To piggyback off of your last question about basically being able to separate your trauma from from you raising children, raising children in a healthy environment. So I'm kind of on the fence about that, and I didn't want to interrupt you, Ro, but
You good.
I do feel that you hope that you wouldn't be able to carry that, and you would hope that you would be able to not feed into the things that maybe were traumatic for you. But sometimes I question that because if you live through it, certain things come innately to us. So how, you know what I mean? Like maybe I'm not explaining
No,
it properly.
come on with it. Cause you saying something.
Because I really feel that yes, we hope we could do this and we can, we won't do the things, but sometimes those old habits, they die hard and those certain things trigger you and you may catch yourself because I didn't grow up in an abusive household. My mother and I have a very good relationship, but I still experience trauma. And it goes back to that self-awareness that we talked about. Now that I am self-aware that these are the things, I try to correct those like, I catch myself, but that doesn't stop the behavior because it's in you. This is stuff that you've experienced.
But if
So
I can jump in real quick because that's a valid point, but the self-awareness is what gives us the accountability.
Right.
And the accountability allows us to recognize when we're getting ready to move in our triggers and our trauma, and it has us stepping back versus someone who is lacking that self-awareness.
Exactly, who hasn't gone through a healing process, doesn't understand it.
Yes.
And that's why I say habits are habits, and it's not to say if it's good or bad or whatever, but it's just we're human, and to hold ourselves to a level of perfection or a standard of perfection, we can only hope for the best. Like I can hope, like but shit happens to you, and you react like how you react. Like,
and that is so
It's
powerful.
just, it is what it is.
And that is why when I say I'm unhinged, that is the real reason why I stay single, because I know I'm not quite healed from my triggers. You know, I know what my triggers are. I recognize them. I know where they come from. But my reaction isn't quite healed yet when I come across them. You know what I'm trying to say?
I know exactly what you're saying. No matter how much therapy you go through, no matter how much it is what it is.
Yes.
It's gonna always
and I'm gonna
be
react
because it's a scar.
It is. You
Yes.
open up a wound.
It's just gonna always be there, and that's why it's good to recognize that, because when you know your triggers, when you all spirits don't get along.
Baby. That's the reality of it.
That's just what it is.
That's just the reality of it. It is what it is.
You know what I'm saying? Because even though we may have healed, we still have scars.
Right.
No matter what.
Yes.
Right.
But the thing is, once you recognize it, you straight.
Yep.
Because you can already see that you're gonna catch it just like that. You're gonna catch
Even
yourself,
if you slip it,
and you're gonna catch the person
come to the
that's gonna
side
bring
gate.
it to you.
Yep.
Because you like, oh, that ain't
Side
gonna.
gate, okay.
Because you gonna pull out some stuff that I don't even wanna. That's not good to pull out. Because we still have them.
Yep.
They can come out. It is what it is.
It's in you, and that's why I said when, like, I have these conversations with a friend of mine about therapy and is therapy beneficial, and I said I feel that therapy is definitely beneficial if you are open and honest and you're ready to work through a therapy program. Everyone is not ready for it. When you get to a point that you're ready for it, that's when it's going to help you to grow into a differerent person, and that is what's going to be that helps you to deal with people differently. It helps you. It doesn't mean that I don't love you. I just can't fuck with you.
That's it.
And
it's not a bad
therapy,
thing.
and that's what and it doesn't mean that you a bad person. It don't mean
But-
that I'm a bad. It just means
we
that's
won't be
what it
able
is.
to
I
come
love you,
together.
but I just
That's
can't
it.
fuck with
That's
you.
it.
In
It's
that
just that
capacity.
simple.
Hey,
Hey, what you doing? Right.
So we had a good topic, baby.
Yeah.
Darlene, we were just talking about, basically, I said that I was having a conversation with a friend of mine about if therapy is beneficial. And I said that I feel that it's beneficial if you are ready to be open and transparent and you ready to put your shit out on the table. If you're not ready to talk
It's
about
not
it,
beneficial.
because it really, therapy doesn't help you to say that shit just turns around. It just helps you to be able to deal with it and be able to manage it, because it points it out to you. Now you caught it, shit that you might have done before and just was like, okay, I'm gonna get away with it. It holds you accountable. It makes you stop in your tracks. So I definitely feel it's beneficial in that aspect. Like I said, I can love you, I just don't fuck with you, and that's what therapy teaches you. You can still love a person, you just don't have to fuck with
Right,
them.
Don't mess with
And
them.
it don't mean that you bad, I'm bad, you good, whatever. It's just, it is
We don't
what
go
it is.
together.
And that's it.
It
Yep.
took me a minute.
Yeah.
Let me tell y'all something, and I'm gonna say this and we can get on to the next topic. There was somebody that was on social media who had triggered the fuck out of me. And I reached out to Darlene and was like, this, blah, blah, blah. And Darlene said, baby, you're not as healed as you think that you are if this person triggered the fuck out of you like that. And it made me think, it made me sit back and be like, you know what? And so then, because it's really your mind, and your mind, you gonna program your mind to think whatever. So now, when I see, because I was snoozing motherfuckers. That's why now my Facebook is lovely, because I snooze everybody. I don't have to see your shit if you trigger snooze. I just don't see it. You know, but I realized those are some things that I had to work on. So that was like a big focus for me. And that's what therapy helps you. And by Darlene working through and working on herself and self-awareness, she's able to come to me and say, hey, you need to check this shit about yourself. And
But y'all know something about healing. Healing is, it's got its benefits, and it's definitely got its, it's painful because with healing, there's an isolation that you go through. But when you go through that isolation and you make it through that isolation, it kind of forces you to want to be isolated.
And
you know,
have to force yourself to get
and
out of that isolation.
you have to force yourself.
Because when you come to a place and you get it, you start getting it, you start realizing everybody that's with you ain't for you, and they don't get it.
And they not
And
gonna be
they
able to go
don't
on the
get it.
journey
And you
with
would,
but
and
it's
you
okay.
gotta get yourself together because you will find yourself upset. But the only way you won't get upset is once you realize you just got to allow people to be people, and I can't get mad at you for being who you are. I'm
I
gonna
just
only be mad
can't.
at myself. If I'm getting, I'm mad at myself for dealing with that. Cause we all come from different backgrounds. You are who you are. I cannot.
And
You
it's
doing what
okay.
you supposed to be doing. I
And
gotta
it's-
check myself
yes.
for allowing it if I
Yes.
don't like it.
Or for allowing it to affect
That's
you.
it. That's it. That's
I
all.
Allowing it to affect
What
me
I
is
do
heavy.
now is
Right.
I look at the situation.
Right.
Is what you're eating making me shit?
That's it. That's all.
Is what you're eating, like what you
We
eat
be
don't
worried
make
about
me
the
shit.
wrong
I'm sorry.
shit.
The baby,
But
my
listen,
cousin said
we be worried about
that
the wrong
is-
thing.
But you know,
my cousin
it's so.
Matthew, that is our cliche. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That is our cliche.
Yes.
You worry
You
about
of
the wrong shit.
You're
That
the
is
wrong
what,
shit.
that's
But
what
you
we
know
text
what's
each other.
refreshing? And before I forget, because I want to get back to Rochelle just briefly, but I want to throw this question out here for us parents and for Rochelle, because we all are in a different level of self-awareness, and we acknowledge, the trauma that we may have caused to our children. So with that being said, why don't parents think or believe that they owe their children an apology? Because to me, that sounds like I was a perfect parent.
That part.
Can I take this for 1 second?
And talk louder so we can hear you.
The young lady, and I don't want to call out any names or say anything. The young lady who's my esthetician, she just left my home today, and she took, whatever. But this young lady, when she leaves, we always have a conversation, and I feel very close to this young lady. I know this young lady, and I know her family. This young lady was talking to me about a situation, her relationship with her mother. I happen to know her mother and her father. And she was trying to say to me, how can she communicate to her mother, like how she's feeling, because there's a disconnect right now. And I don't want to go too far into it. And I'll just say, I said to her, baby, write your mom a letter or send your mom an email.
Yes.
And I said, so that you can get out your uninterrupted thoughts. You don't have anyone interjecting and so on and so forth, and you can get it out and you can say how you feel. And I said, and I know that you're close to the other parent as well, because apparently the other parent must have said something. I said to the young lady, and keep the other parent out of it. When you talk to you, because everybody goes back. Everybody's not meant to go on that journey with you, but it's just things that you learn. Like Darlene said, we all in different stages of our healing process, so it's different things that we could speak to. But with this young lady and that relationship, it hurt my heart. But the bottom line is, what was we talking about?
Whatever she's smoking, y'all. Whatever she's smoking.
I don't remember. He got the talking off and he went off. That's what you. But you was doing good.
Because it was a question. Whatever.
Why are parents not accountable? Why
That's
are
what
parents
it
not
is.
apologizing?
Okay.
Thank you.
Right,
we
So
both
the bottom
apologize.
line was,
Right.
thank you so much.
Right.
Yes,
The
thank you,
bottom
Tasha.
line was
Right.
the young lady said that her mother is not ready to be accountable for her. And I said to
Yep.
her, that doesn't matter. You still got to get this out, because this is not about her. This is about you.
Yep.
This is plaguing
Yes.
you.
Yep.
People
Yes.
are going on
That's
with
it.
their day to day, and it's plaguing you. That's the one thing that I've learned. It's not about them. It's about me. So I got to do what I got to do. And when you said that, that's what it brought
Yep.
to me.
Yep.
She said that her mom, she's scared to talk to her mother because she feels as though like her mother is going to, like her mom's not going to take accountability for it. That's basically what it boils down
And
to.
most of them don't and
But
aren't.
Can you imagine you speaking up finally and saying something, and a person tells you that
Don't say it for real.
when a person tells you basically that your feelings don't matter and they discredit your feelings, like how dare you try to, and that baby has a fear of that. And I said that in my mind, I thought, but that's so fucked up.
And
it's sad, but the
yes.
sad part, she is sad. But the thing is, when you have difficult conversations, you have to be ready for a difficult response sometimes.
You're right. You're right.
But just know, if you sincere in your conversation, you better believe they heard you, especially if they get an attitude about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cause they gonna go home and think about that later.
Yeah.
They get out, they not ready to deal with it, but they hearing you.
Yeah.
And just to get that off your chest,
Yeah.
we always expect them to receive
You're
it,
right.
but they're not
You're
going
right.
to receive it if they're not
You're right.
ready.
You're
But
right.
just
That's
to
key.
release it,
You're right.
she releases so much stress off her. It's just good to just still get it out. Because you heard what the fuck I said.
Yeah.
You really did hear what I said.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But she have to. That's the thing. We always think they gonna receive it the way we said, and this and that, and we get upset because they don't.
That's real shit. That's real shit.
We go in there already
right,
thinking this is how it's gonna be.
Yeah, you're right. Because if you can throw it out, you should be able to receive it. You absolutely right.
And then she thinking she's not going to. You just never know. Sometimes we got to start thinking positive.
Yeah.
Before we had a conversation, before we write the letter, we got to have a prayer with whoever we believe in.
Right.
Even if, like, come on, got these words.
Yeah.
So she can receive it. If she even get an attitude, but I still need her to receive it some type of way. And you say what you got to say, you have to be done with it. That's the thing.
That's the
We
thing.
not done with it. We keep holding on.
But
And it ain't doing nothing but tearing us down.
But tearing us down.
But that comes with growth, though.
It does. It does.
Because
And that's a process.
yeah, it is.
Because we've been like this for so long, for so many years, and now to try to get out of that,
Yeah.
ooh,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah, it's so hard. That's some
You know
real
what I'm
shit.
saying?
That's some real shit.
And people, and I think having, people around us,
Check.
having our children around us when you're ready, they help us deal with trauma.
They do.
Because
Yes.
we see, especially our kids,
Mhm.
we see shit in them that we don't fucking like.
Mhm.
And what?
But they coming, it's
It's-
coming from us.
Mhm.
But that, and that's the part.
Correct this on
Let me
myself.
help her right now.
Yep.
Let me help her right now.
That's what a
My
mother
youngest,
will do.
my
That's what
youngest.
a baby. That's what a parent
Because of
will
the
do.
way she was raised, I came from an aggressive background.
Mhm.
Take care of your business, do what but you speak up, right? And I wasn't raised with tact. Just, and that's not good. So I see it more so in my youngest. I said, we gonna get this together.
That's
'Cause I
some
didn't
heavy
have
accountability,
nobody. And when you
Tasha.
see it, I'm like, this is what people were saying.
Yep.
And she don't mean no harm.
Yep.
Cause I never
She's
met harm.
accustomed to.
So she has helped me. Okay, let me deliver things differently to
Ooh,
other
that's some heavy
Yeah.
accountability.
Our kids if we start paying attention to them, we can be able to check ourselves even better. Oh, I need to work on that one. The
Oh,
middle
he say
one.
he
The middle
can't
one
hear.
going to my middle one, my second one. She worried about ahead of time. She got that from me. I had a reason why I had to do that because I didn't have nobody to have my back. You got somebody to have your back. Don't do that. I need you to live in the moment. So you have to check yourself around. Like, let me get this together. And then even like our closest friends, sometimes we'll see certain things because you have something in common with them. You see certain things. I don't like the way that is. Well, somebody told me I did something like that. Let me get that together because now I can see it. Now I can see what somebody was talking about. So the people around us, they can help us with that.
us.
I'm so thankful for my 3 daughters. I
Baby.
get the assignment now
Baby.
because I didn't.
Yes.
I said this makes sense.
That is
Yes.
perfect.
It makes
That is
sense.
Yes.
that is
It
so.
makes sense. And then we want to get on here. We want to talk about the kids.
Yeah.
We want to be like, but we raising them.
Yeah.
We the ones raising them.
Yeah.
We raising the ones we're talking about.
Yeah.
Baby.
They entitled. We did that.
Baby.
Because we didn't have the shit growing up.
Yeah.
So now we want to give them this extra shit.
Yeah.
We let them speak their mind, but when they speak it, and it don't make motherfucking sense to us, oh, you're disrespectful.
You're disrespectful.
But they're speaking their mind.
But they're
speaking their
speaking-
point.
That's some
We
real
raising them.
Yeah.
But we want to sit there and talk about them.
Yeah.
And gossip about them.
And gossip. I
And
hate
make them
it.
feel bad about
I
themselves.
hate
Feel
it.
bad about
Yes.
the choices
Yes.
that
Because
they
they're
make.
still people. They're
Yeah.
trying. We've been here longer. Let's help them.
Yeah.
They so fat. They done that.
Oh,
Ain't nobody
You know,
raising them.
I heard.
Ain't nobody raising them either.
Our
Be raising them
children
off
are
some bullshit.
hurting.
You
They
know-
hurting.
Our
That's it.
children
Are hurting.
That's it.
You know, I got stories, but I'm gonna just say
Baby,
this.
we don't
I'm gonna
wanna
just
be
say
crying up in
this.
here.
Man.
You know, the ages. There's no, I'm going to start at 4 years old. 4 and 5-year-old children left outside, no clothes on, Pampers, no parents in sight. Calling the police, placed in a care of who knows what or who knows who. No telling what trauma they're dealing with while they're in that care. This is where it's starting.
You looking at it, you actually seeing how shit
starts.
Yeah.
But no one takes accountability for that child that's going to grow up confused,
and fucked up.
enraged.
Yep.
Enraged.
And that part,
That's the
You
one.
know?
Enraged is the one.
that's it right there.
And they're going to be
it.
blamed. They're
Yep.
going to be put in juvenile detention
Yep.
because they're
Yep.
acting in their trauma,
Yep.
but
Into
no
a
one is
life of
taking
crime
accountability.
just
And
playing
guess
just
what?
look at
Guess
it.
what? Now they finna do it with the next generation.
Yep.
It's
And
a
I'm
trickle
angry
down
about
Until
effect.
somebody,
And I'm angry
Nobody
about it.
wanna catch
but
it
until
and say,
somebody
wait a minute, something ain't right.
recognizes,
That's it.
and that's where we go back to the
Yep.
self-awareness.
Yep.
Self-awareness
Until
is powerful.
someone recognizes that there is a problem.
Woo.
So now I'm a firm believer that things just rotate. And if this world continues to be here, so now we are a different generation because now we're becoming more self-aware and we're raising our children because we have a better understanding.
Yeah.
So then they're gonna go and carry it on if you know that's what they decide to
Right.
do. But if we stress the importance
Yes.
and show them that,
Yes.
that's the reason why we are the main generation because we are the ones that's producing this last one.
Yep.
Would y'all agree or disagree that mothers are the foundation of trauma?
Mm-hmm.
We the creators.
We are
of
the
this whole
creators.
world.
Let me tell you
We
something.
the creators.
So why is that
right.
offensive to when I say that? Why is that
They
offensive?
don't wanna take
Because
the
we-
blame.
Take the
They
account-
don't wanna
It
be-
starts from the
that's it.
choices of
That's
men,
it.
does.
the choices we
It
make.
does.
And not only
It
do it
does.
start with the choices, them we raising
We
them.
Yeah.
We raise the same men we out here talking about. This old no good, don't want to do shit, but you raising them. You're not making your son do shit. You're not trying to put a positive man in his life, but you want to fuck Tom, Dick, and Harry and let him see.
In the
That's
presence.
That's what you
In
showing
the
them.
presence.
It's okay. So you want to be mad at what this out here, but you raising them.
Woo, y'all is
You
saying some
raising
words
them.
in here.
That's
Yeah.
it. I'm telling you, you see the shit. You
Every
see
day.
how it begins.
Yep.
I
Yes.
see how it begins.
Yeah.
And I'm a
these
little angry
mothers
about
do
it.
Not
Yes.
want to take ownership
On-
and
They don't.
accountability for it.
So who's
let me
suffering?
tell you, there are so
The
many
mothers.
mothers
That's it.
that
That's
do
all.
not want to admit, and I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna say it loud.
Say
and I
it.
know
Say it,
people gonna
baby.
Come out here yes, mothers, you do a phenomenal job as you feel raising, but a man needs a man to show him how to be a man.
Because you can't
And
show him how to
if
be a
a
man.
woman
Yeah.
cannot,
You
you
can't.
cannot.
I'm gonna show you how to be the man I want to be with.
That's
That's the man I'm gonna show you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that's
show
right.
you how to be the man I want to be with.
Yes.
And that ain't even
that's
good.
All it is.
Hmm.
And that's all it is.
You understand?
Hmm.
And I'm
That's why I'm in competition with the fucking girlfriends.
we are out here dating what you guys
It's
fucked
real
up
out
and
here.
raised. This is what
And they don't
we're
wanna be
leading
accountable
out
for it.
here.
They don't want to be accountable
I
for
just
it.
saw a video today. The young man said that he only dates boss women. When he met his ex-wife, she was working 2 jobs. When he started off saying when he met his ex-wife, she was working 2 jobs.
That's her
I
mom.
couldn't hear
You
anything
can't hear nothing else after that.
because all I see is that you.
I ain't working 2 jobs with no man.
What are you doing? And when he said ex-wife,
I'm mad I got to work the first job, and I'm keeping it real.
With a slight
I'm
exclamation mark.
keeping it real.
baby.
I'm mad I got to work hard on the first goddamn
Period.
job. And you think I'm finna get another job with a nigga sitting here? I'm getting another job because I'm by my goddamn self.
Baby, oh my God, don't even, I'm gonna shut up right here. I don't even.
So wait,
I mean, say it way
let me
too
ask
much
this
on
one
this
because we got a
podcast.
whole lot of
Okay.
to say. Rochelle,
People be all in my inbox cussing me out.
Rochelle with that cup in your hand.
Girl.
Yes, cousin.
Hey girl, let me ask you.
Tori ain't said a word.
Do you believe, because I'm going to get to the adults too, because You know, we got parents too.
We done
And
took over your shit, Rochelle. We done took over your
Hey, I
shit.
didn't know I was gonna
We
go
done got.
Wait, sorry, bro. You got us. I
You
didn't
done got us charged. Enough is enough of this shit now. Enough. God damn it. Shit.
they
The
act so
same
silly,
shit.
y'all. They act so
This is
silly.
what happens when you get us together.
Shit.
I love. You
This
know
is why
what?
he said
You
that.
know what? This
This is your
powerful.
story.
Let me tell you about this powerful energy that you all give. I need this in my life. I need. Are y'all listening?
Yes. Yes.
I need this in my life. You all give me life. Seriously.
Thank you.
Because it's
You give me
rare.
life because you got
It's
this.
rare.
Yeah.
It's rare to meet people, to have people in your life that are genuinely,
Baby.
genuinely kind and genuinely intentional with compassion and empathy. That's a rare trait. So when I tell you, I am grateful.
Yes.
I do not take it for granted at all. I am grateful. I think about you all every single day. I may not talk to you or text you, but you know, you
But we know the love is there. We feel it.
okay. So enough about that. So Rochelle, do you think you are owed an apology from your parents that raised you?
No, because I think they was going through something. As I'm getting older and on my spiritual path, I feel like they was going through something themselves.
Come
So
on,
I'm
Rochelle.
what was going through their mind.
Come on,
So,
Rochelle.
I mean, it is what, and it's the past. So
Right.
I'm
Because
35,
guess
right?
what? You can't change it. Because
Right.
it's still back there.
Exactly.
You can't fucking change it.
And it happened.
You could learn from it
Yeah.
and say, you know, I'm gonna make the
It
future a little better. I'm gonna tweak it. I still like some
I
of the
like
shit they
that.
did,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna tweak it a little.
That's all we do.
That's all
That's all
we do.
it
Because
is.
life repeats itself.
It
Yeah.
is. And some of the things that my mother did, I take it with
Yeah.
me. And some of the things I changed. And
That's
I told her,
it.
I tell my daughter all the time, when you get older, you will look back in your life and you will say, some of the things
Yeah.
my mother did
Yeah.
a damn good job.
Yeah.
And some of the things
Yeah,
my
she was
mother
liquor
could have
fused
done
as hell. Right,
better.
right, yeah.
And that's
it.
what life is all
That's all
about.
it's
You
about.
take it and
That's
you
all it's
tweak
about.
it. We are passing the baton
That's
to you.
it.
You
Now-
take the baton and you run with it and you run to the
Alright.
next one.
Yes. Yes.
I love it.
Yeah,
That's
boom,
all it
boom,
is.
boom. Here you go. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
I think about
There you
that.
go.
I think about that image of Harry Belafonte
Mhm.
and what was the light skinned doctor that was on Grey's Anatomy Private Practice with the gray eyes? I can't think of his name, but there was on either Essence, Ebony, one of the magazines. I can't
Okay,
remember who it was.
okay.
And it was him, Jesse, whatever his Jesse, taking the baton from Harry Belafonte.
See?
And I was
passed
just
it
like,
to-
and
that
I
makes
always
sense. I
think
know
about
oh,
that image in my
wow.
mind. Like
That's a great
literally,
image.
and that is exactly what
And
we
that's
are
what we're
doing
doing.
with this generation.
That's what we're just passing on the torch. That's all we're doing.
Yeah. The
That's
question,
it.
the thing about it is that plagues me a lot with our youth is when we're passing it on to them, do they really understand the significance of it and
No.
how they need to carry it forward?
No.
Like these are life survival skills because they're very dismissive. This younger generation
Very.
is very dismissive. They're dismissive of old principles and values that we know for a fact work. Like I tell my daughter, I'm not telling you something that I think may happen or that one or two people go through. This is life.
Yeah.
Everyone has
Yeah.
gone through this. And I try to tell her these type of things, but that's the thing that concerns me because it's like after this generation, will the things that we've taught them, is it going to die off?
No,
No,
it's not. And let me explain to you
They
why
hear
it's
you
not.
now.
Right. But when they go through, it's gonna make
This,
sense.
this one's gonna come to.
It's gonna come to it.
Okay, I see where you are.
It's gonna come. You.
I see where you are.
I'm gonna give an example. I'm organized. I plan. I have to.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how you be more successful when you do
Successful, yes.
when you do what you're supposed to do.
Have a vision
Yeah,
and
you know,
see it.
and
I'm
you
I
because when
get
you
that.
don't have you all over the
You're
place.
all over the place. An unstable mind
So-
is unstable in all its ways.
One time
Ooh,
before she
that's
had
heavy.
wanted her hair done.
Mhm.
She wanted her hair done. I said, okay, cool. They make their own appointments. They do all of that.
Mm-hmm.
The day of the appointment, she said, okay, no, beforehand, she said, we got to go buy the hair. Cool. Now, she didn't say what type of hair, none of that. So my assumption is this certain type of hair that's always there.
Mm-hmm.
So the day of the appointment, she said, okay, we got to go get the hair. I said, okay, I can go pick it up because I know what it is. And she said, no, Mom, it's not that type of hair. So I said, okay, well, what type of hair is it? She was like, Samantha, it was like $100 something, $200 something. I said, you normally get the hair that's $11.99 in the pack when you get the ponytail. What are we talking about here?
You thought.
Okay. So she about to have a breakdown. I said, well, I'm a person that communicates. So you have to communicate with me as to what type of hair you needed. And I could have found that hair when reached out to your sister. We could have found that hair. You understand?
Yeah.
I'm a communicator. I talk. I need details.
Yes.
I asked you that.
Yes.
So she cried, have nerves break down, all that. So she had to use cheap hair. Hair still came out nice. Strike one. Second time, she wanted her sister Monet to do her hair. This was like 2 days ago. Monet said, okay, fine, I could do it. She said, but I got to work. She said, I could do it at 9 o'clock when you get home. Just make sure you have your other, she had like a glue in, a quick weave. She said, make sure that's,
Out of your hair.
That's out.
And right,
Right,
because
right.
we got a time limit,
Right.
and I need to
because I still got to get up in the morning.
Right.
So I'm looking at Wednesday. I'm looking. I said, oh, shit. She had asked me to help her the day before. She ain't said nothing. So I said, Monet, was you still doing her hair? She said, yeah. I said, she can wash it. You had to have a conversation with her. So she picked up from work and she was like, you didn't take, She said, I'll do it real quick. She said, no, I'm not finna be here all night. I'm not finna be here now. So now I'm gonna curl what you got on your head. We're not doing all that because it takes time. She crying this and this again. So I told her when she was mad, she was mad walking around. So I had to get her together. I said, this is your fault. I said, this is what I mean. You have to open up your mouth. You have to do what you have to do. This is what I'm talking about. You're going to get it sooner or later. Because I'm not going to be here all the time to be on you. That's how they're going to understand it.
Okay.
They got to go through the shit. And trust me, they're listening. When you're a good parent, they are listening. However, they have to go through because guess what? We still go through it.
We still go through it.
We still be hard-headed.
That's powerful, too.
We still hard-headed.
And a lot of times my hands are off.
Because you gotta go through
Period.
this.
You gotta see.
Because you getting of a certain age.
You get that fucking age.
I did my part.
That's the hard
That
part.
is
too.
very hard.
Because you
That's
know
hard for you.
That's always hard as a mother. But you gotta come up and check yourself.
My bad. As a
Yes.
Yeah.
But you gotta check
as a
yourself
father,
because
it's
they
not hard
gotta.
at all.
Yeah.
No.
What's not hard, Tori?
It's taking my hands off.
But you know why it's not hard what I think why it's not hard as a father? Y'all not hands on as much as we are as mothers.
That's powerful.
That's why. Not saying that y'all not hands on,
right.
but y'all not hands on.
Right.
The way we are.
So it's easy.
Because we are nurturers. Anyway.
And
True.
on top of that, they come through us.
That's it.
And
they always gonna, cause they come through us, they always gonna come to us first. Yes.
That a mother and a child have than a father, and not to discredit anything.
Right.
They come through us. I just watched a video literally this morning where the mother gave birth, and the therapist was saying that when a mother first gives birth and makes that eye contact with the baby, that does something to them later on or whatever. I don't remember all of that, but they were talking about how that connection is formed instantly.
It is.
They know our heartbeat. They know our voice above anything else. They know our everything because they came through us.
Yep.
So that nurturing side is totally different. So yes,
That's why it's hard. But we got to let them experience it.
It's hard.
See, because I could have easily told Monet, I could have talked her into doing it.
Yeah.
But then now I'm hindering her even more so
Yeah.
because now Mama gonna always have my back on that
Yeah,
part.
because the lesson
Now
they learned.
that's
the
it
lesson
right
they
there.
learned. You
gonna
learn
get checked.
what's
You were
applicable,
supposed to do what you
what's
supposed to do.
applied. Yeah.
She did her part by coming here at 9
Yeah.
o'clock and she picked you up from work.
Yeah. You didn't prepare.
So they are listening. They're gonna carry it, but they gotta go through it.
Mm.
I'm going
They
through
still
that.
gotta go through it to get it. That's the
To
only
get
way
it.
we get it. We go through it. We don't listen.
And then they're able to tell it to their
They
gotcha.
be like, man. My mama passed in 21. I wish that's when I really, I had it, but I wish she was here to say, man, that's it, man, mama, I get it. Let's talk some more.
And yeah, I felt that when you said, let me get my train of thought. So So not having my dad
Mhm.
makes me realize how many traits, character traits that I have from my dad. But before I became self-aware, I didn't know that I had anxiety. But now that I became self-aware, I realized when I'm talking to my dad and listening to him worry and the things that he used to say, and his anxiety was through the roof. But I didn't realize that it was anxiety because I didn't know what it looked like.
That's why it's very with that, and I'm glad that you brought that up. That's why we got to allow our kids to get to know us and where we come from. Because
Yes.
you will understand yourself better.
Yeah.
And
That's why
stop
I wish
being
she was
afraid.
here,
That's
so
it.
my mom
Yes.
can talk a little more about where she came from, her
Yes.
grandmother. Because when you know where you really come from,
That's heavy. Yep.
you can understand. It makes so
It
much
makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes
this part
sense.
progressive. Where my mother was, she was on her business.
Yeah.
She took care of what she had to take care of. She was straight, it was straight to the point. And it's like where, it's not like I do it with intent, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, that's just what I know. I wish I knew more as to why she was like that.
Yes. And
So I
now,
let my
Yeah.
kids, I let them know where I came from. I'm
Yes.
not holding nothing back.
Yeah.
This
Nothing.
is what it is.
You know.
I
And my
am
daughter
who I
told
am.
me, she said, I understand you even better now.
Yeah.
Even if you try to go off on certain things. She said, I get it.
I get it.
I
get it.
My mom once told me that I lost my train of thought. It was something that you had just said.
We need a shot of tequila. We need a
Shout
shot
out
of
to
tequila. Hey, you know
I
what?
want to
Here.
try what.
Here.
What?
I got an ashtray right here. Here.
Look at that. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What's wrong? Oh.
This is Lucid Konversations, y'all. Hey, Kim. We talking about everything. All conversations
I don't get hot and shit.
transparently spoken.
Hot and excited. What? This one here?
So that one right there, yeah, you might see what you can do with that one because, baby,
No.
That's the one they were choking on?
Right.
Oh my God.
so we got about 10 more minutes in this session, and in the next
that's
hour,
great.
there's
10
this
minutes.
video.
I can wait.
There's
Wait
this-
on the break.
There's this video that Tori sent me, and I started listening to it, and it created so many questions. So we're going to listen to this video in the next segment, and that's going to be some conversations. So one of the comments says, spend enough time with your grandparents in the company of your parents, and you will learn a lot. That's powerful as
Somebody
fuck.
just said that?
Yes, Rashida. She said, spend
That's
enough
it.
time with your grandparents in the company of your parents, and you
And
will
you be
learn
like,
a lot.
Oh, this shit makes
It
sense.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I told my girl, I said, when y'all get out here and really start
That's a
dating,
great ass.
don't just
Come
be
on,
out
cousin.
paying attention to him.
Yes.
Go sit with that goddamn family.
Go sit with the
Go
family.
sit with that family. Go to some damn holidays.
Baby.
And you
And
can
that's
see
how you
that's
gon-
who you gonna know who you marrying if you want to be with
You
him.
can recognize that at that time.
Exactly. But that's why you got to start telling these kids. We got to be upfront with them.
Yes.
We keep thinking they babies and they can't do shit.
Yeah.
Half of them could show us some shit.
Show us.
Half of them could show
Yeah.
us some
You know
shit.
you're right
We
about that.
think they beneath us. We're teaching
No.
them. We are the first teachers.
We are the
Let me
first
tell you
teachers.
something about
Man.
that. Let me tell you something about that. I was talking to my cousin the other day. My cousin has 3 daughters. Her middle daughter and the baby daughter is nonverbal.
Okay.
So the middle baby, and they're only a year apart, 3 and 2. So the 3-year-old, very intelligent. So she was saying to me that the middle child is having a hard time sharing with the baby because there's a communication barrier. Blah,
Right.
blah, blah. So she wanted to know what's the best way, how to handle it. She actually told me she was gonna whip her into learning it or whatever. And I said, wait a minute. I said, first of all, how you gonna say
Damn.
Baby.
God. So you done got your ass
Baby.
whooped all your goddamn life.
All
Now you
your
wanna
life.
God damn.
Wait. So I said, well, wait a minute.
Just beat it into her.
Spank the baby for she's a baby. First of all, she doesn't even know what that is. You have to show her. And I said,
Shit.
you have to show and then reinforce. And I'm like,
Is
you
the
have
3-year-old in daycare?
no.
She couldn't even
See,
say
that's
tap
the
her
thing.
leg.
In daycare,
I could have dealt with the tap on the leg. She
But
said, you know,
the
whoop.
point-
You know, we
Right.
traumatized with whoop.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait. But the point is, because
Vita.
Ro was saying that because the baby's not in daycare, that she doesn't learn that. Regardless of that, the point was that she wanted to spank the baby, and I'm like, this is a teachable moment. Like you should
See,
use
what
the
I'm saying,
baby's
wanna
first
spank the
example. And I said, I understand the
That's
trauma, and I told her,
ridiculous.
I understand that was maybe what my aunt might have done to you. Let's do something different. I said
Sharing
the
is
generational things
caring.
changes with
Right.
you. So then we went on to talk about the next thing with the babies, and she said that with the 3 sisters, there's a big gap between the first one and the second one. The oldest one is 10, and then you got the 3-year-old, so there's a big gap. So they're, they relate. She can't relate to the baby because the baby's nonverbal. So she says, well, I want them to have like a togetherness and a sisterhood, and and this, that, and the other. And I said, well, that starts with you. I said, you're not even a girl's girl. So because you don't value friendships with women and babies,
Oh, wow.
how are you going to teach
You
them?
can't even teach that.
You
And I told her,
cannot.
They can't even be the
Yes.
example.
Yes.
You are not
That's
a
it.
girl's girl. So
Wow.
I said, and you can't fake it. I said, why don't you start with trying to extend your girl and become a friend and
Yeah.
be
Man.
somebody and and I said, and then you can show them the example. And so she went on to say, well, I don't really have anybody, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, why don't you go and mingle with somebody and go and talk to somebody and go and hang with somebody and become a friend to them. So
Yeah,
that
they
your
need us to
daughters
talk a
can
little
see
louder.
you,
The volume's
so that
still
your
low.
daughters can see you being a friend and they can learn through that they're going to learn by example. And I told her, you are your daughter's first example of being a woman. So because things were done to you and you know how you felt with it, why don't you change that going forward? Try to communicate with your daughters. And last, I told her, you so busy focusing on the discipline and making sure that they're disciplined right, and you losing their mind and losing them emotionally. Why don't you try connecting with your daughters mentally and emotionally?
Yes.
And that
Yes.
will
Gotta get up there.
automatically
Yes.
structure
That's it.
the behavior. You
Yes.
don't have to worry about them going this far out when you already got this and you controlling this, so then you don't have to worry about that. That's going to automatically go in.
Yeah.
And I told her, you have to look at yourself
Yes.
and change the things about yourself.
And that mirror look
And
is
people,
always
and I said,
ugly.
God gave you 3 daughters for a reason. And you wondering
What?
why
What?
you can't connect
With
to
neither one
them
of them.
when you're not
That's
connecting.
the problem. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it starts with us.
Yeah.
It starts with the mother is the foundation.
The mother is the
And
foundation
because we are
of
the
trauma.
producers, yes, you guys help us to produce, but we procreate, we nurture. It starts with us.
Because we making bad choices, because we making choices through our trauma. So
Yes.
now we not
That's-
getting
we
in
putting us all
relationships,
into
we
it.
getting into trauma
Yeah,
bonds.
all.
So
My
now
trauma
we didn't
done met
had
your
it.
trauma.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now we didn't had 2 trauma bonding people done had a baby.
Yeah.
So now they were able
imagine
to.
what that's like.
Well, imagine
Yeah.
what
I
that
mean,
looks
you
like.
I get.
That's horrible.
That's hate.
Yep. But no one is going to take accountability,
My 3, I love them to death, but I was like, God damn.
baby.
On certain
Let me tell you,
things.
I had
Like,
one.
damn.
I had one, and that was all it
Shit.
took. I had one.
Ooh, baby.
And when I tell you, don't even get me started.
I have been
one.
apologizing to my daughters forever.
Baby,
I
I've
have
been
not stopped.
apologizing since
I
day
have
one.
not stopped.
It is what
Yes.
it is.
But let me ask you this. What comes after accountability and changed behavior?
Healing.
What's after that?
Healing.
Well, the healing is before,
Yeah.
but once
there's
you
a
get to,
different level of it, because now you're seeing it through a different lens. Because when you were first walking through it, you were walking through it like it was a thunderstorm. It was a thunderstorm. You just going through it because it was so dark and so heavy. Once you both heal and you reconnect, and now you're going through the next level of healing, it's a different thing. It's a different type of cultivation because it's a more peaceful one. So it's like you work through all of that, and now that's where the change starts for the generations going
And I
forward.
think what it is, what comes after it is more so empathy.
Yeah. Yep.
You understand. And you won't
Yeah.
be so quick to go off. You use logic. You won't be
Yes.
on your emotions.
Less emotion.
You'll
Ooh, that's
understand that
another-
this don't
that-
have to take
Yeah.
you back
Let
to
me write
get
that down.
upset.
Because
It could take you back to say, let me help
Let me
you.
write that
'Cause
down,
I,
y'all, because
I know it ain't even personal.
That's it.
It's
Yes.
not even personal.
Yep. 'Cause
I ain't got nothing. I don't have nothing to do with it.
Understanding. Yep.
I understand where you coming
Yep.
from. So
Yep.
let me
Lead
now
with
do
level
it a
of
little
compassion.
different. Yes.
I'ma lead
Let me
with
help
a
you.
level
Let me do it a
of
little different. Now
compassion.
you can't take it the way I may say it like this.
Yep.
So now let me do it a little different where you can understand.
Yep.
Cause you in a certain place right now, and
Mm.
I've been there. I get
Mm.
it.
That's why it's
Yeah.
so many empathetic people. Because when you go through that type of healing,
Ooh.
even if you start
Yeah.
off with a jaded heart, when you go through that healing process, it forms you. It changes you into a different hue. You see life in a different light. A person walks up to you, stick their middle finger up, and you just look at them like, man, you know, I'm
They
sorry.
hurt. You be
I'm
like,
sorry.
they hurt.
I'm sorry. You
They
felt that
just
way.
going through
And
something.
you just handle things differently.
Ooh.
And so yes, as the generations grow, because if I'm teaching that to my daughter and I'm like trying to pound that into her head, then as she goes on, she will begin to see herself through other people.
That's it.
And that's how
You
she's
like,
gonna
oh.
begin to change
Ooh.
and grow. So
That's it.
yeah, I definitely see that.
Yeah.
So I just had a question and just lost my train of thought. So wait, y'all. Let me come back to that question. You mentioned something about making decisions because we are logical, and being logical comes from being in a healing state because you're able to
Yes.
balance your emotions.
Yes.
So with that being said, we're going to go into the next segment, and it's going to be about, because I hear many men say that women are more emotional, and which makes us, the logic be off. We can't be logical because we are more emotional. So if logic comes from healing, then I think it's a problem with both genders.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not women are more emotional. It's people that's hurt out here.
It's people that's hurt.
Emotional.
And
Men
who do you-
and women.
And is there a balance of the two, or is one, do you find that one is more hurt than the other?
One
I
is
think men are more hurt
That's
than
the
women
reason why they do so many
because
crimes of passion.
we put it on them.
Yeah.
Because
That
we
raised them.
because it
we
comes
put
from
it on
us.
them. It comes from us as mothers.
It comes from
Yeah.
us. Because
So it's
mothers
a
are what,
trickle-
y'all?
It's just a trickle down. We the creators.
We the
It's
creators.
just a trickle down effect because we want to control that household really.
Yeah.
Cause think about, you got a 2-parent home, you got a family. When daddy home, everything, but when mama come home, the whole house just lights up.
Mm-hmm.
Cause mama getting this together, she runs that.
Yeah.
They know when she on it. Even though we know when the men on it, we know. But it's like, I think, yeah, the men are more emotional because men don't supposed to be emotional. You know what I'm saying?
They don't know what
it's
to do with it.
exactly.
They don't know
It's
what
all
to
about
do with
balance. So we putting all of this on them. But that's what we doing to our kids. So if we just if we not together and we raising our children and we got sons, do you know how much we putting on them? Do you know how much we putting on them?
And yet
so
and
now
still
they're growing up
to,
and they become the men that ain't shit, the men that's angry, the men that don't know how to talk, all the above. It's just
because who set that example?
That's why the mother's mindset and her mental health is so important. It is more important that you choose a mate based upon her character, her mental status, her morals, her values, her principles. Because if you are having intercourse with this person, and if they are able to produce children, there is always a possibility that could happen. And instead of looking for like superficial shit, they that's what they look at. They look at the superficial shit. And it's more important that you look at the mindset, because the mindset of the mother is what matters.
But at what age are people really looking at mindsets? Because
But
men
so-
aren't choosing women based off their mind.
So here's the thing. We
Based on
are
what?
that generation.
I said men aren't choosing women based off their mind.
Well, they always say the classy girl will eventually make a comeback. That's what they say.
I think that just all depends on just their background.
The man's background.
Mm-hmm. I think some get it.
Elaborate,
Some I think it depends on where they come from. Are they, because No one is paying attention to nobody's mindset if you ain't got your mindset.
If you
together.
ain't got your
Right.
exactly,
So if you don't have
Yeah.
your mindset together, I'm not gonna be paying attention to yours. It's one thing and one thing only that I'm worried about. All the other shit, I don't want to hear that shit.
so wait, that brings me to another
So
question.
I have myself together first.
That's
I'm
yes.
paying attention to your shit.
But you gotta
I want to hear that shit.
But you gotta understand and think, like I think of it and I look at it like this. If people like you and I and Darlene and other people exist, then if we exist, then it's people like
It
us
is.
that exist.
It is.
So I gotta look at it in a different mindset, cause in a different lens. In order for anything to
Yeah.
change. I
Hey
gotta
y'all,
be able
this
to
is
look at it
Lucid
through a
signing
different
off.
lens.
We're about to check back in shortly with a different segment
This was good.
of conversations,
Man.
y'all.